It's 105.7 Abuja. It's of course a beautiful, beautiful morning, Thursday morning, of course. And it's the 27th day in the month of December 2018. We're counting down 4 more days to the end of the year 2018. And it's, of course, 15 minutes gone past the hour of 9 a.m. In the building is me holding it down on the morning show today. Stephen Umapia is my name. You can call me King Steve. Royalties in the building holding it down on the morning show. Greetings 105.7 Abuja. And we are broadcasting live from 2B Justice, Showway Mimo Street right here in Asokoro. What a beautiful day it is. Compliment of the season to you. And yes, it was a beautiful celebration talking about Christmas. In as much as things are not going as expected in the country, but of course, we must celebrate, okay? Because Jesus Christ is the reason for the season, and we can not do otherwise. All we need to do is to open up our hearts to Him and embrace goodness. Okay, of course, on Talk Nigeria today, like I've said earlier, we are talking on this particular very important topic. It says, Buhari wants aid party men against extortion and name dropping. Are we winning or losing the battle against corruption? It's a big question this morning right here on Talk Nigeria. And I have in the studios, we are blessed with the presence of two very important personnel here in Nigeria. I'm talking about Barrister Tony Idoko. He is here with us this morning on Talk Nigeria. Good morning, sir.
Good morning and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, same to you.
To everyone.
You're shining actually because I can see the effect of the season.
If you say so, thank God.
On you. Yes, and also we have the Executive Director, the Authority newspaper with us, Chuks Akuna. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Compliments of the season.
Yeah, to you too.
And our listeners, good morning.
Okay. We are back at it again. It's a beautiful morning and it's a beautiful day. Of course, a lot is happening in Nigeria. And like the topic of discourse this morning says, Buhari won AIDS party men against extortion and name dropping. Are we winning or losing the battle against corruption? It's a big question this morning put across to you there, Nigerians. Now, Buhari's statement is a pointer to the fact that we still have a long way to go in terms of fighting corruption. How true is that? Let's start with the barrister in the house.
Well, thank you very much. For me, I think that I commended the president for saying that.
Okay.
Okay, because unlike in the past, when some people have always pontificated, okay, on the zero corruption stance of this present government, and I mean the followers of the president, members of the APC. Even this morning I listened to some of them. They always talked about how corrupt-free they are, and also always talk about the integrity of the president and all of that. It was heartwarming that the president himself, of course, for him to say that meant that he had reports, on what was going on. And he wasn't talking this time to Nigerians. He was talking to his party men, and he said his admonition was to the appointees in government, members of the party, and all other APC members who were involved in name dropping and all of those things. Of course, the end was corruption. They were enriching themselves and all of that, using his name, his wife's name, and whatever means that they could. Okay, and so for me, it meant that we have the problem. I think that we have had in this administration is, this slogan, okay, continuing slogan that Mr. President is a person of integrity. Which perhaps you can't take away from him, but then. You see, we cannot run only on the integrity of the president, because it shows, okay, that even the very people who have been accusing the PDP of corruption and saying that they are corrupt free and their principal, our president is a person of integrity, are themselves corrupt. Of course, if the president is saying this, is telling us then it means that they are also corrupt in the APC. But every time they come, they tell us Mr. President is. So I said, look, why do we worry only about the integrity of the president and not worry about our own? Okay? Mr. President's integrity is not going to take us anywhere. Mr. President can be the only one-man riot squad in government.
Of course.
You understand? He's not ubiquitous. He can't be everywhere. He can't see everywhere. He can't see everything. See, these are his foot soldiers who are involved in this act of corruption. For me, my pain, okay, is that these same people come up and they tell us this one person is corrupt. Oh, this person is corrupt. Other person is corrupt. But this is what it's much to my chagrin. We shouldn't be talking about this from people who talk a lot, about it. And then it shows that the problem of corruption is not I've said this before, and I have the opportunity to say it again. It's not PDP that is corrupt. And it's not APC that is corrupt. It's Nigerians who are both in PDP and APC. They are all corrupt. Okay? So we should stop deceiving ourselves and stop deceiving Nigerians, okay? And telling us that Mr. President has integrity. I'm concerned about your own integrity, you who is telling me that Mr. President has integrity. How about you? I need to know that you also have integrity. Okay? Because you are the ones that man the other places. Okay? So I think enough of all of that. Let's talk about issues in this election. Let's talk about how the people feel, how they felt before, how they are feeling now, and what measures you are putting in place, to alleviate, the issues. Okay, and let's drop all this corruption thing because we are all in it. Let's not deceive ourselves.
We are all in it. So it's time for us to drop the correction.
Yes, because if you recall, when Mr. President traveled, I think it was UK, he was in, when David Cameron, the former British Prime Minister, made the popular remark, about Nigerians being corrupt. He said Nigerians are fantastically corrupt. He didn't say PDP is fantastically corrupt. He didn't say members of the PDP are fantastically corrupt. He said Nigerians. Okay, so we are inside this thing. We need to tell ourselves the truth. I was watching this morning the recap of the match between Man City and Leicester.
Yeah.
Yes, and after the match, the man came. The coach, one of the statements he made for me, which I took away from all of that, is that look, he said we've got to do something. He realized that he has lost 2 matches back to back, and instead of grandstanding and saying, look, don't worry, we are still going to win the league, we're still going to do that, he was honest enough to say, well, it's about time, we are going to work on it, we have to do something about it. And he agreed, he commended it, he said, yes, they deserve to win. You see, that is sincerity, that's how you run a government. If things are happening, you come, things that are not, things that are untoward, you call your team, you tell yourself the truth, you say, look, things are not going on well, but we've got to work on this. That's sincerity. That's honesty. We respect you more. But when you say, no, you are, I'm okay, we're okay, so the other people are the only ones who are corrupt. We are not corrupt. We are the ones who are fighting corruption. No.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay, Mr. Akuna.
Yes, my take on this is, I ask people, what makes the monk? Is it the hood that makes the monk? Or the monkey, or the man himself? I've been fortunate to have covered the political parties when there were just 3 parties. We had the AD, we had the APP, before it now changed to AMPP, and then PDP. And at the time, PDP had 21 states. Then AD had 6 states. Then 9 for APP. So what has changed? It's the same APP and AD people that formed APC. So what has changed? The current minister of Agric, Hadogbe, he was PDP national chairman, and I know what happened even in my state, Anambra State, because I covered the party. I know how money changed hands, how people bought tickets in PDP when Hadogbe was national chairman. Today he's in APC. He's a saint. Barnabas Gemade, also recently he was in APC. He was national chairman of PDP. I know what happened to the party under his watch. We have Amechi. Amechi was speaker for 8 years. He was governor for 8 years under PDP. So what has changed? There are several. I can go on and mention names. So for me, parties don't make people saints in Nigeria. But people assume that once you're in PDP, once you're PDP, you're a devil, and once you're APC, you are a saint, you have been beautified. It's not the case. We should rather scrutinize the testimonials of these so-called harbingers of integrity. I'll tell people, why is the presidency issuing this statement at this time? They're trying to, it's a strategy. Don't forget that over the past 2 months, I think over the past 3 months, there was this issue of a man who claimed to have given money to the chief of staff. If you remember, he was in the news. That was about 3-4 months ago. Then suddenly, a lady was paraded some weeks ago. She claimed to have been working at the behest of the first lady's sister. That one came. Then only yesterday, the SSS said that they had released to the police the ADC to the first lady, that he extorted over 2.5 billion naira from unsuspecting Nigerians in the name of the first lady. So I'm a political strategist. I can read between the lines. So what the presidency, the statement is very, very timely, because as we head into the new year and close to the elections, some of these issues will be used against Buhari, the APC candidate. So the best thing is for you to first to put your hands on the table, so that tomorrow, if the Atiku camp or whoever camp want to use this, you say no, but I'm not to be held liable for this. I've put it up in a statement that whoever has done this or whoever seeks to do this, hasn't got my blessing. But the issue is, Buhari has been president for 3 years plus, for close to 4 years. So why is statement coming at this point in time? Why didn't the statement come if it was for the sake of tickets or for the sake of elections? People must have used the assumption that people must have used his name, dropped his name to get certain favors during the primaries. So why didn't it come before now? That said, you see, I've been in government, like I said, I know how these things work. The fact that people see you whisper, you see, I tell people, you don't, there's so much hypocrisy about government. When I was working for Andy Uba, when he was seeking to, Andy Uba at the time was the most powerful man in Nigeria after President Obasanjo. When I was his SA, there was a day I came to his house, I came to whisper a few things to him, and I was leaving. And a very rich man came outside to pluck me and said, that please, that this man is my friend, please say nice things about me to him, because I'm seeking for this, that. And when I was leaving, he said his PA should had something over to me. I thought it was perfume. When I opened the thing, it was 500,000. I didn't go to him and say, I am this. But that's because he saw me whispering to Andy Uba. So these things happen in government. When they see you, even when I was with Ngige, when people sometimes they have files, they meet the governor at the airport and say, please, that we have this. The governor says, okay, give it to my chief press secretary. Please remind me when we get to Oka so I can treat the file. So those guys, they give you money. They say, please don't forget, or they keep calling you, please, please, please. No, it's very common. So it's not strange. I've experienced that. So, but for the president, so President Buhari or the president cannot claim to have been ignorant of this development. Do you know I know one of Obasanjo's sons when he was president. He told me that banks were begging him to come and take loans without collateral, because it's just simply because his father, they come to the villa, they see him that his father is the president. So these things happen. So we shouldn't pretend that these things don't happen. Then the question now is the timing. Why is the presidency saying this at this time? For me as a strategist, they are doing this so that tomorrow the Atiku or the Obese Presley or the Shore camp will not use that against the presidency. So I think it's a very good strategy, and it's going to work very well for the president, because he's issued this disclaimer that I'm not to be held liable for, caveat emptor, like you said, the lawyer said, buyers beware. I'm not to be held liable should somebody, but like you said, like my brother said, Barry said, it goes beyond. It should go beyond rhetoric.
It should go beyond rhetoric.
It should go beyond rhetoric. Okay. And there's this issue about his accusation about the president's family owning substantial shares in Keystone Bank and Etisalat. And we had his former associate Buba Galadima, who's been with him throughout. In fact, Galadima claims to be among those who invited Buhari to join partisan politics. He said that there used to be aides of, relations of the president who used to come and beg for 2,500 naira, 3,000 naira to be able to go to Kaduna before the election, before the nominations and before the election. Now that they are multimillionaires, like I said before, if you are the president's relation, you don't necessarily have to be poor, because, like I said, you don't necessarily have to go and beg people to give you money. People will give you money. They will give you gifts. You don't have to solicit for those gifts. So anybody who is saying that because you're president's son, he used to live in one room apartment, now he lives in a mansion, I think it's neither here nor there. I've worn those shoes before. People will come to you, whether this is Christmas, they will bring, you see 1,000 cows. You wouldn't even know. You come today, someone has dropped a brand new car for you. You ask who, they say, God, we don't know. They say, we give. They are favor seekers. So these things happen. So I think, much as we want to vilify the presidency or the president for this, I also think we should spare him, because nobody will be a relation, even in America. Trump's son-in-law, there's this allegation that he was involved in some deals because he is the in-law to Trump. You cannot say, because you are, like El-Rufai once said, you cannot say because you are a brother to the FCT minister, you wouldn't apply to get land. Or you have a Nigerian company, you want to, and then you say because you are the president's relation, you will not apply for contracts. You are a human, you are Nigerian, you are entitled to, you are eligible. That's the word. You are eligible to do these things. So I think what the president has done is just to issue a disclaimer, but the fact remains that if you are an associate of the president, of the governor, of the government chairman, of the speaker of the House of Reps, or the speaker of the House of Assembly, you are his friend, you are his, like some say, FOG, friend of the governor, your life will not be the same.
Okay, much said there this morning. In case you are just tuning in, it's Greetings 105.7 Abuja, and it's Talk Nigeria. And the talking point this morning is Buhari warns aides, party men against extortion and name dropping. Are we winning or losing the battle against corruption? That is the topic of discuss this morning right here on Talk Nigeria. And you can also be part of this discussion, because I have two great personalities in the studios with me this morning. I have Barrister Tony Idoko, he's in the studios, and also Chugs Akuna, who is the executive director of the Authority newspaper. And yes, questions have been asked already, and you can be part of it. All you need to do this morning, the phone lines are open. Call 070-1057 0088 and 070-1057-0909. You can also send your SMS via 070-1057-0025. Greetings 105.7 Abuja. Phone lines are open already, so keep your calls and messages coming in this morning. And quickly, before I ask the next question, let's quickly go through this particular message here. This one here says, corruption has tripled since this APC government came to power. This is a habit from Karishi. Barrister, that is his own opinion anyways.
Yeah.
And before we go into the next question, like he said, okay, we have a call here. Let's quickly pick this one. Hello, good morning to you. Yeah, what's your name, sir? Daniel from Mpape. Daniel, go ahead. What's your take this morning? Oh, okay. Thank you so much for that call, Daniel from Mpape. Mr. Kuna, would you want to say something about it?
Yeah, excuse me. Like, I keep resorting to my referring to my days in government. You see, there's a lot of ignorance about how government contracts are awarded and executed. You see, like, sometimes I read stories about governors saying that, or people saying that they gave XYZ company 50 million naira to execute a road project and that they took the money and disappeared. It's not possible. it's practically impossible. Because how are contracts awarded? You bid, especially under the what do you call this, Procurement Act. When you apply, if there's a road like from village A to town B, you apply, you pre-qualify. How do you pre-qualify? You pre-qualify. Yes, it's called like the elimination stages in football matches. They have to. They will check. They will check your company profile, the kind of equipment you have, your staff strength, and then what jobs you've done in the past. So, if you are given this job, can you execute? So they will. So it's based on that they will. Don't forget that you have to buy. You have to apply. You have to apply for a non-refundable fee. Sometimes it's 5 million, sometimes 10, depending on the size of the scope of the job. So you get that, then you pre-qualify. So when you pre-qualify, it's now, this is where the interest of the chief executive or whoever is in charge comes into being. You have like 6 companies who have the same competence. Then, they bid. So sometimes some people can bid lower depending on their perception or what they feel, because they give them the bill of quantity. The bill of quantity is the material that can execute that job. Maybe 1 million bags of cement, 20 metric tons of chippings, like that, asphalt, So the engineers supply these facts to all the companies. So based on that, they have their QS, their quantity surveyors. So those will calculate and say, okay, with 10 million, we can do this job. So if we charge 15 million, we're home and dry. So we feel that they have more expatriates, like beggar. They will charge 20 million. So when they supply all this, then they come and open the documents, and then they give, when they award the contract, they don't give you contract and give you money to go home. When they award the contract, when they give the award letter, for them to mobilize you, they give 15%. You have to bring what you call a bank guarantee, a BG. So bank guarantee, the company will now, the bank is like a loan from the bank. It's a guarantee. It's like a loan. So the bank, if you say like Union Bank is your bank, you go to them, you apply for a bank guarantee. It's like a draft, sort of. So you now give it to the government. The government, for the amount, for the 15% mobilization, they intend to pay. So when they get the guarantee, then the government now releases that money to the company. So if the company takes the money and runs away, bad one, it's not the fault. The government loses nothing. The bank pays the money. You understand? So when they finish that initial 15 or 20%, when they finish that, then they generate certificate. The people at the Ministry of Works will now certify that they've done the first stage, because they have consultants. And second stage, like that, till they. So sometimes people come and say that the government awarded this road to this company is useless. They've not delivered. It's not the company's fault. No company wants to keep workers on site and pay them every month if they're not working. So when they generate a certificate and the government is unable to pay for what they've done, so they stay put until they get money, because they cannot go and borrow money and execute government contract. You understand? So this issue of saying that they gave money, people took the money and walked away, it's not completely correct, true. And then this issue of there are some sharp practices, in ministries, in MDAs, yes, but this issue of saying that the military they pay and people just walk away with the what I know happens is kickbacks. Governors, head of agencies, when they get the contract, they come and say thank you. Thank you, or they build,
and it's part of what they are built into.
Sometimes they build it. It's not.
Thank you into.
It's not. So and like here, this part of the world, there's always this. Culture is unique.
Yeah.
Like if you go to restaurants in the West,
yes.
When you finish, if a waiter serves you, he doesn't go away. He waits for you to give him something. They call it tip. But here, when you give now, they say corruption, bribe. So we call it cola.
Yes.
We call it, no, that's the truth. It's peculiar. So every society, they've got their peculiarities.
Yeah.
When you go to restaurants in the West, when the waiter serves you, he doesn't go. He will wait for you until you tip him. But you can imagine here, we don't do that. If a waiter brings you food, you're even angry that the food is expensive, so you don't even give him anything. So that's what obtains there and what obtains here. So sometimes they say, okay, that I give this man job, he has come to say thank you. So I don't know how to.
The question is, we're still looking at it, whether that thank you is wrong.
Is wrong or right.
Okay, we have more messages coming in this morning. Okay, I have this one here. It says, "Dear presenter, on Mr. Akuna's comment, it's true. I was once involved. Also, my partner and I met a governor, and he said I gave you this road project because of my friend that brought you. If you are friend to people in government, your life will change."
No, that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Abdul Hamad from Papi. Okay, that's your message here. Thank you so much, Abdul, for that message. And also, this one says, corruption is deep rooted in our country, just like previous administrations. Buhari has not fared any better. We need systemic overhaul. This is from Lucas from Maitama.
No, I sorry, I tend to disagree. See, let's look at it from this perspective. President Buhari is relatively older, and I should suppose that his needs and his wants in life will be less than that of a man who is like in his 50s. Let's face it.
Of course, yes.
I might not like Buhari, but I don't want to subscribe to the notion that corruption has increased. I don't want to subscribe to that. But the question is this: you see, like they say, if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys to work for you. Yeah. You see, we always very, very, like, even when I was in the newsroom, there are things I used to write until I got a political appointment. You see, when you get a political appointment, when I was just chief press secretary, but there are colleagues of mine who will send me text that I should pay their house rent. Some say that they want to buy a car and that they have 200,000 naira left, I should pay. And if you don't oblige them, you become a useless man. Yeah. You see, people are always very quick to say, our senators in America, senators earn $50,000, here they earn $10 million, blah, blah, blah. And I say it's rubbish. Because the issue is this: in America, how many senators get IVs from their church for what they call it? Harvest.
Yes.
How many people send SMS to reps in America and say that my child's school fees? How many people in America go to senators and say that our school project, that we have 10 million and you should bring the money? They don't do that there. So if you earn $10,000 in America, you earn it for yourself and your family. But here, I say that we are collectively rich and collectively poor, because no matter how rich you are here, the poor will always feast on you. I pity lawmakers who come from states like Naija, Kaduna, states where people just pay 200 naira and they're in Abuja. You go to National Assembly. They come and say that this man, we worked for him when he was going to be elected. We campaign for him, so that that child school fees he must pay. And the man has like 1,000 visitors in his office. He can't attend to all of them. Sometimes he says, okay, you want 1 million, take 200,000. Then the guy goes back home and says, that man, that man is a useless man. He gave me, from all the money they say that they chop, he gave me only 200,000. So these are the issues. That's why we're advocating that we build strong institutions. If we have good institutions, a senator will earn 50 or 100,000 naira a month. He will spend it only for himself. No, that's okay. A senator, everybody wants a senator to give him a job. You go to all senators, they have 1,000 CVs in their table. If they don't, they have to oblige everybody. If you don't do that, so sometimes because they cannot give those such jobs, they have to monetize it. So this puts a lot of pressure on our political office holders. You go and see a governor. A governor receives 1,000 visitors in a day. 999 of those visitors have come to get one contract or the other. Let's face it. So every call a governor gets is one favor or the other. You go and see a governor He doesn't give you money, you go and say, useless man, idiot. That's what they do. So where do we expect them to get this money from? Is it from their salary? So in a way, we get the kind of leaders we deserve. We encourage them to steal because they want to meet our individual demands. No, that's the truth. So long as the system does not work, we all, you and I, we end up paying in one way or the other.
And that your statement there brings to mind this final question.
Okay.
How do we change the mindset of Nigerians against corruption?
Okay. Sorry again.
Yes.
Okay.
First of all, I will agree. I will disagree respectfully with my friend.
Okay.
On the issue of whether corruption has increased or not.
Okay.
Because someone sent the text say it has tripled.
Yes, that's tripled. Yeah.
But before then, before I disagree, let me agree with something he said about when you are in government, associates, people, friends, and all of that. You know, their life must get better for them, and that is why I did not agree with those who complained about the president's son riding a power bike. They said, he's driving a power bike.
Some of them are giving him a gift.
When he said that, I said, but he's the president's son. That, for me, that's not the issue. That's not the issue with Nigeria at all. That the son was riding a power bike.
Of 1 billion.
Yes, and people started placing different types of values on the power bike. Some say it was 450 million. Some say it was 50 million.
I have a power bike. I'm not the president's son.
All kinds of things. You know. So I told them, I said, power bike is the least thing the president's son can get.
Yes.
There are a lot of visitors that can just give him if they know that that's what he likes. He always because for him to have had an accident with that power bike, I'm sure he didn't start riding when his father became president. Yeah. It must have been something. And if you look at these northern boys,
it's very common.
It's very common. Either they are driving their fist fight, right? If you go somewhere in Otaku, not Otaku, you will see them on Sundays. You will see these boys. They'll just come with they'll come with some C-class Mercedes. You see the exhaust is different. They'll press it. Yes, and we've had some of them had accidents here before. They used to use the CBN place until police started warning them that they should stop it. And you see crowd doing car racing.
Yes.
You know, and so they also do all this power bike. So that is nothing. That is nothing for the son of the president. The father doesn't have to call me and say, take money and go and buy a power bike. No. He can get as many as 20 power bikes that people can dash in. Okay? So that's but what I want us to do, okay, is to also extend that logic, okay, to perhaps the wife of the former president, okay, Patience Jonathan, who some monies were found in her account, and she said they were gifts. And they said, these people now who are excusing this now, and I am part of it. I am excusing this, okay? And now, but we're saying then that what kind of gift is that? How can you get gift running into so and so billions? He said gift. No, it's not gift. This blah blah blah. If the son of a president can get a power bike, what that value? Imagine the wife of the president. And to be very honest with you,
for 6 years.
Yes.
For 6 years.
And to be very honest with you, in a climate like Nigeria, the wife of the president is more powerful than the vice president. Let's face it. It's more powerful than the vice president. In fact, she has the same power with the president, except that officially there are some things she would not do because of, you know what I'm saying? But the wife of the president, if you want anything, you go through a man's wife. We know that one now. Is that also? Anything you want through the man's wife. And like he said, all the kind of gifts that will be coming in for 6 years. Imagine if you, from businessmen, from politicians, if you put all of them, it will run into billions.
Of course. Yes.
You understand?
It should.
So let us also make that excuse for her. Now, where I disagree concerning the value is that, I mean, maybe the incidence of corruption, it has gone up, let's face it. Okay? And it is not because of Buhari. It's not because Buhari is not fighting corruption. That's why it went up. It's not because of that. Okay? And it's not because of anything that the PDP did before. It is, like I said, it has everything to do with who we are. We love corruption, let's face it. We just love it. I've been somewhere where some people were doing something about corruption. I recall even when some people were doing something about corruption. Coppers. Okay? There was this anti-corruption CDS. And they did a drama about corruption, and then one Coppers stood there and said, let them wait first, so let me build my house in Maitama before they start doing, they want to stop corruption. You know what I'm saying? And you see, when it's not favoring you, you complain.
You complain, yeah.
But when it's favoring you, you defend it.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, no, don't mind. So you see, the truth is that if you look at the statistics from the MBS, some years ago, about last year or so, when he talked about the level of corruption in the country, when he said he brought the judiciary, brought something about how many hundred billions of naira involved in corruption and all of that. So I think that the reason is because we have not done enough to check corruption. The America that my friend was talking about, okay, the reason why when they catch you in America in corruption, even you yourself, you will judge yourself first, you know you are gone, is because they have not given you room to be corrupt. There's no reason for you to be corrupt in this society. Society has provided everything for you. Everything. You can be anything you want to be in America, in England, in Italy, anywhere in Europe. Okay? These boys that we watch play football, so a lot of them didn't even finish school.
Of course.
You understand? But you see the kind of money that they earn. So when it comes to sports, it's not only football. It's just that football has become very popular.
Baseball, basketball.
Look at the fight by Tyson Fury and Wilder. Each person they drew. The fight was a draw, but I heard that each person got about $40 million. Okay? Look at the first fight Anthony Joshua fought. Anthony Joshua got about 17 million pounds. Now, the same Anthony Joshua wanted to box in Nigeria here and we rejected him. That's what I'm saying, that in that place there is no need for you to do that. They provide everything. In America, in Europe, if you are playing even hockey, that we neglect here, you can be a millionaire. Cricket people are millionaires. They develop sports. And we have I'm sure we have over 100 types of sports. You understand? Activities. You know, we have over 100. Whether you are running, whether you are playing football, whether you are playing volleyball, whether you are playing hockey, whether you are swimming, look at Olympic. How many games do we have only in Olympic? So there's enough things to engage you. We have a lot of young people here who could have been involved in all of these things. But even if you know how to play football, you have to bring a letter from somewhere. You have to bring this one. You have to
pay. No, you have to pay.
Okay. They have to say how many Igbos are in that club now.
Yes.
He's also an Igbo now. And all of that. So you see, you want to be, is it school? They have the best schools. Why are all our people sending their children there? Why are our people going to have children there? Tell me one person. There's no one big man in this country. Let's leave the big men. There's not one person I know who can afford it, who bears children now here in this country. None. They want their children to have a second nationality. And they don't go to Ghana. They don't want their children to be Ghanaians. They don't want them to even be South Africans. They always want them to be Canadians, Americans, because British block them now. That's why we're no longer going there. Okay? So why? Because when you have children from those climes, number one, you can be sure that education, okay, they have free education. Even if they are here and maybe because they are younger, you have them here. When they finish and they want to go to university there, they don't pay international. They don't pay as international student. He's a citizen. Even if he doesn't have money, they'll give him a scholarship. When he finishes, he can pay back, and then he attends the best school. Let me tell you something. My friend who finished from here together is a lawyer, also my classmate. When he finished, he got scholarship, PTDF scholarship to Dundee. University of Dundee, went and read something on petrochemical, something. Do you know that he told us that? Do you know that the oil companies here, when they want to recruit Nigerians, when they want to recruit Nigerians, they don't recruit from here. They will go to UK and look for and get those Nigerians who are schooling there or who have schooled who are looking. So he told me he applied to work with AP then. I think it was Fort Oil.
Yeah, Fort Oil.
Yes, they wanted the company secretary. You know, and then he was 9 years post-call then. And what they wanted was 10 years post-call. His CV is so beautiful, so wonderful. 2-1 in university, 2-1 in law school. But the only problem was that he had just 1 year.
A year short.
They just couldn't help him. So you see our people, they go there to recruit from there. So when you come to school, they have so many wonderful schools. The worst school there is better than the best school we have here. We have reduced our standard. University of Ibadan, University of Nsukka, they used to compete. And when we talk about university ratings in the past, world university ratings, they used to compete with other schools in the 70s. Now cannot even compete in Africa. If you say first 10 universities in Africa, you won't find any of them there. Any. In fact, the first 10 will be from South Africa. So we have finished everything. Is it medicine? Is it doctor? Doctors are going on strike here. One doctor told me at one time, he told me that I will be shocked. The salary is not 200,000. That's a medical doctor.
That's the truth.
Now, if you go to America, a medical doctor earns per annum over $150,000. So there's no need for you. There's no need for crime. That's why you yourself, you know that you are in trouble if you get into crime. You know that, because you know that I shouldn't have been involved in this. They provide everything. If you want to be anything, you want to be a politician, you start forming those habits. You know, because you see, one thing about Americans that I found out is that they can do anything they want to do. They can sag their trousers, but if you want to be their governor, they don't expect you to also sag your trousers. Because if you sag your trousers, the day you come off election, they'll say, but this guy sags. It's not responsible. Do you understand? They can get involved in womanizing, but you want to be their president or their governor or their legislator, they'll say, but you have a girlfriend. The person who is pointing at you, who is accusing you, has girlfriends. But he's not a leader. They know that they have a standard for leadership.
Yes.
If you want to be a leader, if you have a girlfriend, the day you come out, you want to be a leader, if the whole world will know that, and your wife will know. You see? And then the next thing you do is that you will step down. Because that's not the standard they have of leadership. Everything is working. That's why our people are living there, are going there. They don't care anymore. They say, oh, if you're here, it's easy to make money. Some people say, I don't want to make money. I want to live for my children. I want my children to have a better life. I want them to have good education and all of those things. So we have not done enough. Like he said, it's true. The senators you talked about, I agree with you. Our senators have a lot of downline here. When they collect that this money, there are so many people who hangers on, who they send money, but it is because all that money that you are collecting, why don't you spend that money? It's because you're collecting all the money. If you were using the money to build a society, if we had light, if we had good roads, instead of collecting all of them and be giving peanuts, because what they still give to you is peanuts. If you go to the legislative quarters, you see the best cars. See them park, somebody will park 6 cars, heavy cars, AMG, and all of that. You park 2 Range Rovers, and then you give somebody will call you and say, oh, my wife just gave birth, please, I need to do this thing. It's okay. Yeah, especially in those villages, rural areas. How much? You send the person 20,000, is clapping for you. You understand? So we have not done enough as people. Okay. And we love corruption. We have to come together and say, look, this is what corruption is doing to our society and to our children, and we need to stop it.
All right, thank you so much. Enough. A lot has been said already, and I think we are running out of time already. Thank you so much, Mr. Akuna, for coming in this morning. Chuks Akuna, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
God bless you. And Barrister Tony Doko.
Always a pleasure.
Very well. Thank you so much.
Merry Christmas once more.
Yes, compliment of the season.
Thanks
and this is where we're wrapping things up this morning. The issue of corruption. We cannot, finish this today at all. We cannot finish it. But anyways, Talk Nigeria comes back tomorrow. Thank you so much for being part of this particular one. God bless you. King Steve is my name, and enjoy your day. Signing out.